Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer1745 here with my continuing playthrough of Hearts of Iron 3 with Black Ice 9.11. And of course, we are playing it live, this time on Twitch. Well, of course, maybe you'll be figuring that out if I didn't say it anyways, but you come that way, you come this way, you're still pursuing that. Okay, see if this conf group can push through that. Changing the direction of your movement. Counterattack them, and well. Port that attack. Hey, thanks for following the channel. Okay, well, I'm gonna come down here. The heavy armor is gonna go there. Let's send them down there and smash these guys. Okay, finally they're getting some. And we spotted it up. Can't stop, okay. And there, looks like they're gonna win, good. We need Triple C because it is 2 points. I know it's only 2 points, but that really helps on the Soviet. And we can quickly look. Current. So we now have them at 65% surrender progress. How is this fight going? Okay, we're going to take the Schwer Panzers out of it because we don't want them to collapse. We can take over, commanding. And good. You attack it into the empty province, but mostly just occupied, I guess. Join that attack. Attacking, okay. Major defeat, another one of these appear, okay. If you can get that province there. And here's another, we were talking earlier off in between episodes about Hearts of Iron 4 and what I thought going on. People talk a lot about, isn't it time for a new engine? Because you're just using you're continuing to use the Clausewitz engine. And they say, and I clearly believe them in looking at the stuff, say that the Clausewitz engine of, I don't know, EU1 versus the Clausewitz engine of Rome Imperator, or whatever the new thing that's coming out to replace, you know, to be their classic Roman era game, is almost a completely different beast. It's just evolved over the years, and I totally believe it. But it's sort of a weakness. And at first I thought that they could only, and I don't know whether this is the case or not, that they could only do one ocean area, because they never do the Caspian Sea as any ports or any ability to put ships on it. And then I forget exactly where I was informed that the problem, if they were to turn this into another ocean area, the AI would start deploying ships to it, because it would feel it needs to you know, have some battleships here to control it and whatnot. And so when I look at that as sort of a weakness in their AI programming, that what can't they create this, and then once they create it, you know, have a, you know, because it obviously depends on the game. You know, are we doing classic era? You know, classic era, if you don't understand, is sort of the from basically Alexander the Great, well, that's to the end of the sort of Roman Empire, is sort of the classic era. And you know, classic era, and if you have a couple of ports on it, you may put some big ships for them. But say for Hearts of Iron 4, you would never put a battleship on here. You'd put, you know, small motor torpedo boats and whatnot here. But they just can't seem to either be bothered with trying to develop, or unable to develop, a AI that will handle the idea that this is a very limited sea, that you should, you know, be able to put some ports to, like, move supplies and things along on it, and they just can't, or won't, or whatever. So it sort of shows some of their limitations, which bugs me, which bugs the hell out of me, because another thing, and I'm going to push again here for railways. We can sort of see to some degree the railways that were historically there by this. The lighter the colors, generally speaking, are, the more railways. Some of this is just hugely damaged at the moment. It's not really that black, but we've just fought a lot in it, which of course is affecting my supplies getting through here. But here there's a railway that sort of comes, I think it's north of the Caucasus this way, and the rest of the railway comes up through Astrakhan and up through Stalingrad and into the rest of the Soviet Union. So railways become immensely important. Well, I'll talk about that in a minute, Arno, for Hearts of Iron 4 particularly. And so railways are a very limiting factor in the warfare from this period. Now, as they point out, rightfully so, if you look at a railway map of Germany, okay, this province here may not connect to this province here via railway. I'm just using this as an example, I don't know. But this province has lots of railways running through it, and this province has lots of railways running through it. So that maybe you have to go down through here, or, you know, and several of these may not connect, and you may have to go sort of around them, but there's railways everywhere here. And through most of the country, you know, outside of, you know, the super high Alps, or, you know, I don't know why I click on something that I expect to be high Alps and it's just pasture, but you know what I mean. There's a few provinces up in parts of Switzerland that there are no railways. But now if you come down here, you get into the situation again where just very few railways connect. So, but much of Europe is well developed, and they're very Eurocentric there. So they don't really and I say don't understand, well, I think, you know, they're smart people, but they just don't see it as an important enough factor. where it really was, and when you find this as being a massive hub here, that once you control that, you control heavily the ability to move forces. Wow, 133 fighter aircraft there. Becomes a massive factor, and so that's all part of it. But logistics here, which is another element that they can't do, is waterborne logistics. Sure, they have the oceans with their transports, and that works, but they don't do rivers with the barge traffic. And so again, what sort of got me thinking is, although they did a lot of railway to move the oil, they don't think they had, I don't think they had any pipelines. I'm pretty sure they didn't. So they were putting them in rail cars and go out. But they also had a lot of tankers. Now they're, I don't know a lot about them. I've just seen some pictures. They're not very big tankers, but they were moving them lots of fuel along all these rivers. So that's that's why Stalingrad is so important here, because you can see the railways and the Volga junction. The Volga is a navigable river, meaning you can sail up and down it. On the motor torpedo boats, the problem with that is from here through all the rest of the Baltics is one sea area. So if you're going to put a unit based here in Danzig of motor torpedo boats, it's theoretically able to patrol all the way up to here, because the sea zone is way too big. I hate sea zones. I've come to hate sea zones as well. I also hate the states, lowercase states there. So instead of having a, because they still have sea provinces, so instead of having a, what am I seeing here? The U.S. Okay, so the U.S. has fighter bomber and a naval bomber here, because I only have a naval and a flying boat. How interesting. Okay, so the U.S. is there trying to do something. So so instead of having to say, oh, we can patrol these, say, 4 provinces by here, and then clicking here and being able to do a limited area, they have it affecting this great area. And fine, if you want to chop this up into several zones, I could deal with the sea zones is the way they're working, but they're just way too big. So that's why they don't do motor torpedo boats, because that would be the same putting a coming out of Emden, a motor torpedo boat operating out of here, and that's just a little beyond their effective range. Sure, the channel zone, that would be very doable, because even this is a bit artificially wide. Yeah, back to the action. Okay, attacking, everybody's attacking, good. Alright, you're attacking. Okay, stop. You're going to need to go north and kind of, that's sort of what I was worried about with these guys. Wall attack. Nope, no. Join the attack. And we also got another political integration. Level 2. Yeah, we'll let that go on. These are National Socialist troops. They're all attacking. They're gonna get here soon. So you can start your attack. they're not there yet. Are they there yet? No. This is fuel. Artificial. It's artificial, and I know I've cheated in some fuel before, not large amounts, but enough to keep this BS from happening. Okay, okay, finally we get this city. I think this city is a victory point city, yeah. Just 2 points, but that's nice. How is our assault on Stalingrad going? You join the attack. You join the attack. Yeah. So let's take you out of the attack. Sorry about that. So, we have some well-organized units, but not many. And we are currently good modifiers in attacking them. Good. Okay, guys. Push here, push here. Yeah, I'm not worried about them getting cut off. There we go. Keep moving east. We're waiting for supplies. Okay. Fly here then. Here, kill this pocket. That way. Where's Homesco? It's way out here. Okay, we're not. Wondering if we were getting close to it. That I would be threatening it or something. Okay, we're pushing them back in this way from here. That's good. You always want to push them away that they don't want to go. And Turkey, we give them money for rare materials. Well, we're good enough on that. Again, we were just stuck down here, even though we're getting that. So, decline. Hey, the Italians are doing some good. That's nice. Okay, commerce defense has advanced. Very good. Yeah, we're gonna end that for now. Still think we are. Yeah, okay. So these guys are being squeezed. Exhausted. Okay, so go that way. You see our leading unit there is being worn down. They're trying to get down. Okay, well now that that attack has been broken, we come back up this way. The only way I would be able to do, I'm able to do any of this, is by air supply, and I can't from there with those. Best machine gun in World War II. Well, Give me a category of machine gun. That's too broad of a subject. Best heavy machine gun is the M2 heavy barrel, the 50 caliber. That would be the best heavy machine gun. But obviously that isn't a easily troop transportable, flexible type machine gun. It's big and heavy. Okay, so light or medium machine gun. For belt fed, it is probably the MG34. MG42 is really good. It definitely much cheaper, quicker to produce, which was why they made, or one of the major reasons of why they made it over than just continuing with the current model. So that is a really good one. The best, the worst thing about the Bren gun is its ammunition, because it was 303. Probably the best Bren gun is the ones they made in Canada for China that uses the German caliber, because the Chinese had adopted the 7.92 Mauser, so that was they made a bunch of that, so that was probably that. The ZB-24, which is an earlier model of the Bren gun by the Czechs, basically, that the Germans used, is very good. So those two are if you're doing box fed, is probably the Czech Bren design, and the German, because it was so flexible, is why it's good. The Browning 1919 is a great machine gun. The BAR is, well, it's very good for its time, in my opinion, and is an alright light machine gun. It's just limited to 20 rounds is the problem, which is also sort of the problem with the ZB-24, because they only made 20 round mags for them. But oh, they've taken back the province here. They got the Mongolians to take back their province. How interesting. That tells me a lot about their forces out here. And I have out here this guy, one of the commerce raiders from the mission out here. Let's see, is well, he's gotten a couple of convoys. Well, 3, looks like, within the last week or so. Put him here because there's a port here, and I figured that may be where Lend-Lease is coming through. Coming in through here. We might as well clean this up. And you're pushing there. You're pushing into that. Mess. Yeah, the Belgian BARs were different than the American ones in several respects. But they, in my opinion, they're not as good. I'm a big fan of Fabrique Nationale, FN. The problem with the Belgian guns is they had most all of the drawbacks of the American one, but they were heavier. They had a pistol grip, which is nice, but it just adds weight. They had several other things. I'm not sure whether they had the quick change barrel before the war or after the war. Later, because they did make some BARs, FN model or type Ds or model Ds, I forget. They had the quick change barrel. That is an improvement, but it's hard. It's not that hard, but it's sort of hard to overheat your barrels with a 20-round magazine, unless you're actually like out on the range, torture testing it. You know, firing. You know, full automatic, dumping 20 rounds through it, immediately doing mag changes, and you know, just keeping that up until you're overheating the barrel. It's sort of, at least that's my understanding. It's hard to overheat the barrel on that. Where a belt fed, oh, it's very easy to overheat the barrel. So the FN type Ds are good. They did do some of those, but they're heavy. So they're heavier than the American ones. The 1918 BARs are sort of the lightest manufactured versions of them. The Americans over time added a bipod, added a carrying handle, and other things, which the Belgians also had, and made it a bit heavier over time. But the Belgians went real heavy. I forget right offhand, the Poles, one of the guns they did a license production on and changed it somewhat, and I'm thinking it's the BAR, and then they just said screw it, we're making the other one without the license, and I think that was the 1919 Browning, or maybe it was the reverse. It was one of the two, and they made the unlicensed. But their 1919 has a water jacket like the 1917 Browning. The 1917 Browning is a different gun internally, not just with a water jacket. And so Browning changes it up to an air-cooled gun, but also changes the internals and makes it better, lighter. And that's good. The Poles, I forget which one was licensed and one was unlicensed. The Poles also did the BAR, and they sort of went with the Browning style in that it's heavy. So you have the... you see, the problem with the BARs is the magazine is on the bottom. So unless you're in a trench and then have the bipod, you can't you monopod, meaning if you're not shooting downhill with it, you try to shoot up a little bit. Unless you have, you know, a trench, if you have the magazine goes too far into the ground and it actually lifts off the bipod off the front. It's called monopoding, and so you're sort of limited to basically 20 rounds in a bottom feed magazine. The problem with the Bren gun, it's a top fed box magazine, and that means it blocks your view. You can't see down the barrel, so you have to put the sights on the side, and it just and if you can look at it in real life, or you look at some of the games that have it, you know, in shooting games, you have the right sort of where you're aiming, you have your view blocked off. Now you can sort of see around it, but it's bad. If you put it on the side, I forget the name of it. The Americans had one, limited use machine gun, which the magazine on the side is. If it starts sticking out the side too far with too much stuff, it unbalances the machine gun, sort of like the FG-42, the German light. It's really not a machine gunner. It was designed as a 20-round rifle, paratrooper rifle that could go full auto. It's a Fallschirmjäger, or Fallschirmjägergewehr 42. So in a 20-round feed for a rifle, that's fine if you're mainly looking at semi-auto. And 20 rounds doesn't, with the magazine weight, doesn't off-balance you much. It's fine. But if you start going to 30 rounds or more, the more it sticks out to the side, the more it off-balances the gun. So you have this limitation wherever you go. Side, it off-balances. Up, it blocks your vision. Down, you monopod, unless like you're in a trench or something that has a lot of, or you're putting it on a wall, and so, you know, the bipod on the wall. So you're just limited with that. in a way for it. So box feed magazines just have their limitations. Yeah, I don't know about that, quite honestly. I do know you can, basically, the FNFAL, as you guys can talk about this for many hours. The FNFAL, and I used to as a profession, is a, the rifle, is basically the Bren gun, or no, the BAR mechanism sort of turned upside down, though still using a bottom feed style in there. And so the Done Salva, he was a protege of John Moses Browning. He's the one that took the BAR and turned it into the FNFAL. So that's sort of where they're going. And you could change the feed style on it. I don't see a problem there from what I know, so that'd work. It would work probably quite well, actually. No, we want you. Yes, you. Okay, now they have lost their counterattack. You come up this way. They're still being attacked heavily, but I'm not worried, like I said. Now they can retreat if they need to. I need to look at my air units, my transports. Okay, no, well, I don't care about those right now. These guys, I built them partially to lower the practicals or improve the practicals for building the other ones, but also getting ready for possible airborne invasions of Britain someday. You're down here, okay. You're flying to this area, okay. We'll specify there for next time. No orders, okay. Where are you? Uh-oh, I did it again. They were supposed to be flying air supply, and I sent them to rebase there, I think. You come back here. Okay, now how far up can you supply up to here? No. Can you supply up to here? No. Can you supply up to here? No. Okay, to here? No. Okay, well, don't want to move you just yet. You're down here. Okay, just barely good. That's just where I was. Okay. You're doing your job by supplying there. You're supplying up to there, good. I think we need to move you further forward. We're going to move you right to here. You base to there when you can. Stop defending. Okay, you support that attack there. Jet engine research, that's nice. Oh, is it this one? Yeah, okay, it's that one that we've maxed out on. Okay, good. I guess we could do big jet engines. There we go. And fighter ground control has advanced. Nice. Okay, we'll do that. Continue it, that is. Hey, RAM 1990. I would say very large. I don't know if I have a good quantitative figure on size of my army. As you can see, it's fairly big. Spread out all over the place, of course. You can see lots of units, so pretty large, and we still have lots of units out here in the west keeping the French in line. Mentioning down here, did we get here yet? No, we're not there yet. It's damn fuel stuff. They're doing reasonably well. should be rebased here. These guys here. Crushing this big pocket here. So we're going to change this movement. Battling down in the Caucasus. Well, you're still defending. Okay. Keep moving forward. Defending. Okay, no longer defending. Well, the size of the Soviet army is very big, and you just need to have a better one, not a bigger one, in my opinion. So, the supply. Where are they supplying to? Waiting. How far east can they supply? No. Here, air supply. Okay, yes. Well, actually, we can go to here. So, let's air supply to here. Let's move you to here. If you haven't watched the full series, ARM, I don't know if you specify the first. You guys. Here, go to. Can't you rebase to here? Oh, there it is. They need to supply it there. You can watch the full Barbarossa that I've done from the beginning and see how I've done it and take a look at it that way, if you like. Okay, now air supply right into there. Oh, damn it! No, no, no. Air supply to there. Air supply to there. Oh, damn it! But I hit it before I hit the wrong thing. Oh, damn. Gotta fly these guys back. I want to air supply, and I know I'm totally messed up your organization, but it's my fault. Okay. Rebase back to here. These guys are supposed to stay back here. I keep hitting the wrong thing. Rebase. You're supposed to be a supply bridge. Okay, come on. Are you there yet? Are you there yet? Now you're there. Okay, now you fly supplies to here. Air supply to there. And now that you're, where are we? Here. You guys, once you get reorganized, you are to air supply to there. Okay, they're coming. Yeah, it sounds good. What would you like to see, Django? What? Well, yeah. I'm sort of guessing people are thinking Hearts of Iron 4, but what version, if you will? I don't know if we're, because I was looking at, part of the reason I'm playing this now is because I went and looked at the Black Ice website, and I don't think Black Ice Germany is really ready yet. So I don't know that that would be a good option. Could do the Great War. We're invading France right now. Continue the Kaiserreich. Start something else. Okay, just a standard Hoi for Waking the Tiger. What country then? Somebody's giving a suggestion, because I know there's all kinds of things to do. It just... Hello, Alexander Large. Führerreich would be interesting. Is that a mod? I don't know it right offhand if it is. First World War France? That could be an interesting game. But that isn't Hoi 4 Wake. You're thinking Hoi 4 Waking the Tiger, the Great War mod, Arno? Okay, because I don't have it set up, probably not today, but I will look into it, for possibly next week, because I am definitely looking for suggestions. What are we doing here? Oh, okay. There we go. You go on the defensive. They're coming across the river there. These guys have moved into here, so let's attack there. Okay. See if they can go there. Thanks. We're definitely reducing these guys down. Let's put you back in. Put you out. You can come out. You can stay in. You guys can go in. You can come out. You already are out. Okay, that's good. May have to take your suggestion there, Django. They're seeming to be holding on pretty good. But that'll be for the next episode. I want to thank everyone for watching. I want to thank you for liking the videos. I really do appreciate that. And of course, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. And also, post questions, comments, suggestions, ideas, corrections. Love hearing from you. See you next time for more Hearts of Iron.